everybody, it's Uncle John from Uncle John's Farms here in Center Point, Indiana, and it's kind of a cold day today. In fact, yesterday was really warm. It's 75 degrees. We planted some strawberries, and I did do a video on that. The problem is the wind was so bad, you couldn't hear a thing I was saying. So today it's colder. It's still windy outside. We've come into the garage. We did some servicing to these lawnmowers that we've got for this year. Today I'm going to put some blades on. We've had them sharpened by a professional, so I'm going to put the blades back on. I'm going to service a couple other pieces of equipment. Thought you might like to come along. Well, we're down under the deck of the big lawnmower right now. One of the most important things when you're taking blades on, taking blades off of a lawnmower, always make sure you have good leather gloves, okay? Because especially with sharp blades, if you've had them sharpened or you're putting new ones on, they are going to be very sharp and you run the risk of cutting yourself. You got to be very careful when you're doing this as well. I do not sharpen our blades. I actually take it to a local business because they have all the right tools to do the job right. We've already taken the blades off. They've been up to our place to get sharpened. We're ready to put them back on. This is the first blade we're going to put on. These ears, what you want to do if you're not sure how the blades go, just imagine how it turns, and it turns this way. So you want these on the back side of the blades, of course the sharp edge on the front. This way it helps discharge the lawn clippings out the side. Very easy to do this. Like I say, I don't sharpen my own blades. I actually take them to somebody who's a little bit more qualified to get the job done. It just saves me time, and yeah, it costs a little bit more money, but it helps that local business out as well. And that's one of the most important things, is to help support your local businesses. Then we just put the blade on. We've already got a washer that when we took it off, we just left it on the bolt. We'll just screw that back up in there. These bolts are very long. One of the reasons I didn't show you me taking them off is over time they become really tight, and I literally have to either use an impact driver or I have to put a piece of pipe for more leverage on my socket wrench. And we'll pull the socket wrench off. Another important piece to have is a piece of board, because as we start tightening this blade will want to turn. And what we want to do is find a place to kind of jam that board in there to help hold that blade as we tighten it up. And the trick is getting the board to stay up there while you tighten it. Sometimes you have to hold it like I'm doing now. And we just tighten it up till it's nice and tight. There you go. First blade's on. We got 2 more blades to go. Well, I've changed camera angles. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but we're actually on the middle blade. Each blade fastens up the same way. Make sure you have your leather gloves on. Most important thing. While you're down here, you can also check to make sure that, there's not big clumps of grass and dirt under here. Grass is growing right now, and we'll be mowing within a week. In fact, I've already started taking some handyman jobs for mowing yards for landlords this year. We're going to finger tighten that. Get our board back in here. Let's see, we need to go that way. Sometimes you have to play around with these. This board's actually a little too long. Grab our socket wrench. tighten it up, and there we go. Now we're off to the next one. Well, we've managed to get to the other side of the lawnmower. This particular lawnmower has 3 equal blades. They don't have to be synchronized. Some of your more decks, they might have 2 big blades on the end, 1 small one in the middle. Sometimes those need to be synchronized. You probably should check your manual for that one. But on this one, they don't have to be synchronized. And like I say, they go on a lot easier than they come off. Because over the summertime, these bolts, they continually tighten and get tighter and tighter. Sometimes you have to have an impact wrench to get them off. Sometimes a breaker bar with a piece of pipe will do just the trick as well. And actually this one, out of all 3 of them, seems to get tightened up the most and is the hardest to take off. Now we're going to kind of move this out of the way a little bit here, because we need to get our piece of wood jammed in there to help hold it. And hopefully, I can't see the camera, so hopefully the piece of wood won't obscure your viewing. And here again, you gotta be kind of a contortionist to get this done. Try to run it over there like that to help hold it. This one's always kind of a pain just because of where it's located. And there we go. We got the 3 blades on. We're going to take it down off its ramps, and we're going to run it outside real quick and make sure the blades are looking good and are working properly. This one has a bag catcher that goes on the back. I've got a couple of properties I mow for landlords where the yard is just way too small to get a riding lawnmower in there. So I always use this push mower. It's about a year old and it's got a grass catcher, so I catch the grass on it as well. Today we're going to service this lawnmower. Okay, so one of the first things we're going to do with this lawnmower, as you can see, Uncle John did not put it away the way it should have been put away. I should have cleaned all this out last fall. We could possibly have some deck issues as far as rusting. And as you can see, this blade's like really tight on there. All this needs to be cleaned out first and foremost before we even begin to start servicing this lawnmower. Well, as you can see, we've got a lot of stuff. Uncle John did not put this lawnmower away right last fall. I should have taken the time to clean all this out. It's just dead grass. It's got caught up when the grass was wet. This one thing I want to point out, this could cause some damage to the deck because this stuff will rust over winter if you don't get it out of here. This was my fault. I just put it away and, to be honest, didn't even think about it. The best way to clean this off is putty knives and screwdrivers. And you're going to get dirty. Make sure you got your gloves on as well, because we're down here around the blade. And the best thing to do is just go around and start scraping this off. And you're not going to get perfect clean, that's for sure. But we want to get as much of this off as we possibly can. Putty knives are good for this as well. Sometimes it's locked on there so tight that you actually probably should use a screwdriver. So you can tell here we're getting some deck rust already because I did not clean it when I put it away. Well, we have got as much of the bigger stuff out with the chisel and the screwdriver. I've now decided we're going to use a little bit of power to kind of clean this up a little bit more. Make sure you have safety glasses on for this. Make sure that you also have the right tool for the job. This is just a wire brush. Main thing, don't let your lawnmower get in this condition. Uncle John did a really bad thing this year by not properly cleaning this before we put it away. And as you can see, it's starting to cause some pitting and rust on the underneath side of this deck. I'm going to go ahead and finish this up and we'll get back to it. Okay, so as you can see, I've taken the wire brush around, got as much of that as I can out. It's not going to come real clean. If I was going to do this right, I would probably take some primer paint and spray where these rust places were, but it's not that important to me. Now we're going to try to finish and service the rest of the mower. Well, we've got the blade sharpened, we've got the underneath side all cleaned up, we've cleaned up our mess and everything. One thing I do want to make mention, this is a new, about a year old, Craftsman mower with a Briggs & Stratton engine. One thing I do not like about these new engines is they don't give you a place to change the oil. In fact, you can look on the side and it says no oil changes. To me, these mowers are run very hard, and actually every season they need their oil changed. But in these new mowers with the new oil that they're using, they are not recommending oil changes. Just check your oil. And this one's been setting up for a little while now, and we can see that the oil level is full. But you can see that the oil is actually kind of dirty. I may try to rig up something later on in the season to change this oil. The only thing we got to do now is we've drained the old gas that I left in it by accident again, kind of like the bottom part of the lawnmower. We drained it out. I'm going to put some new gas in. We're going to take it outside and make sure it's ready to go for this summer. This helped you out a little bit, actually seeing Uncle John having put away a piece of equipment not in the right condition. So we had to take some extra time to clean up the push mower. Hope this helps you out as far as servicing your lawnmowers and things like that. I've gotten quite a few emails wanting to know about the animals. And yeah, we're going to be getting back into more animal videos as spring keeps coming along. Right now the animals are still in their barns, still in their buildings. We haven't started taking them out onto the pastures as yet, but we will have more animal videos coming up very shortly. Don't forget, we're still taking orders for chickens that we process here on the farm. You can find out all of that information on our website, unclejohnsfarms.com. UncleJohnsFarms.com. Make sure you spell that out, Uncle John's, with an S, Farms, with an S.com. There's another website really close to ours now called Uncle John Farm. But ours is UncleJohnsFarms.com. You can also hit us up on our Facebook page. Don't forget, we've even got Heather now. She's got us a TikTok account, and you can find some great videos, really short videos, cute videos over there, so make sure that you check that out as well. Don't forget, if you need help as far as backyard farming or anything like that, anything that I can help you with, you know, I'm always here for you. You can find me at UncleJohnsFarms.com. You can always hit us up on Facebook as well. Thank you so much for being a part of my video today and my projects. And, of course, I appreciate each and every one of you. And thank you so much for being a part of our community.